Yeah, there we go. Okay, cool. Wasn't sure if the chat was gonna show up. Alright, hey, how you doing? Excited to show this off, because I wanted to show it off almost a month ago now with these live streams, but had a couple of technical problems, but and some other stuff to sort out, but here we are now, and I get to show you this black screen here. Oh, it's the sky. Alright. So, I put a little bit of information in the description, just like one little paragraph of what this is about. So if you want to quickly go check what that video is that I put in there, the video link in there, that's basically what I'm going to be animating. So, yeah. I think it's off, but the video sound is off. Yeah, I muted it. Okay. So I'll just kind of... What I can do is click this. Yeah. Okay, a little background on this is that I was the color animator on this, really only. So I drew the backgrounds, I drew the ponies, and I started animating the ponies. So everything else, like the script and story and storyboards, which are back here, I did not draw. So to just get that out of the way, that I've only done the color stuff. That's just kind of like our animation term for to differentiate between storyboards and final animation, is between, you know, it's like this is in color and storyboards are black and white. So it's kind of simple that way too. So it's kind of what I use to differentiate them. So again, I did working with I don't know what to really to call him. He has so many aliases because he's Gamer Specs, and then Ed Prince Stairs is like its channel name, and then he has Game Tune Zone is like all the same thing practically. So yeah, so that's the channel that I'm working with, collaborating with him on this project that I'm slowly could just scroll through it. There we go. Yeah, just let it play. So I worked on, the animation for almost all this. You can't hear, but I can, so I'm gonna turn it off. So I animated all this, and I got pretty far, and then I kind of got swamped with like 3 other projects at the same time, and so I had to decide which ones to prioritize, and unfortunately this one had to be on the back burner for quite a while, maybe like over a year in hiatus of not working on it. So that could be better. So, and with these live streams, I feel more motivated to work on stuff, that I get that live feedback, which is very important to me, that I can get that live feedback from you. So most of these are what I would call final, but because the weird part is that like every keep working on this, like I take like I would work for a year and then take a year off and then work on it again. My animation skills have been improving each year. So as I've been doing this chronologically, I can see like the later scenes are better animated. So, and I just go back and forth. I scroll through the whole thing again and again, and then I just kind of gave up and said, okay, if I try cleaning it up every time that I come back to it, it's just gotta be, 3 times as much work, or however many times I come back to it. So, we're getting close. Yeah, you can see like there's more nuance to the animation back here. Oh, I skipped a frame. Oh well. We're getting close up to when we're gonna start working on animation, so we'll let this kind of play here. There we go. This is the scene, so I'll just let it play so we can have in context before what is the look before we start messing with it, and then we'll get started on this, because you can see like there's for let's see how to phrase this. That for like, you know, years back, I had a different like way to animate characters, like in a different, you know, hierarchy of what I wanted to animate first. So I animated the lip sync, and then the head, and then the body. But you know, if you've seen the Fall Life Celestia stream that I did, like Tuesday or something, I worked on the body, then the head, and then the facial features. So it's a bit now different going back to it because I did the face first in this older past, so it's a bit different for me to like go back and say, okay, what am I working on now? It's a bit confusing. So anyway, gonna turn this back to stream, just so events and streams I explained in another stream. That event, if I hit the keyframe for the start of the audio, if I hit the keyframe for the first audio keyframe, then it'll play. But if it's stream at any point in the bit, then I can hear it. Oh man, I'm skipping more frames. Oh no, what's going on? Technology, why are you failing me? Oh no, I'm not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. Whoa! Gotta see some buffers. Okay. Well, hopefully the voice will come out good. I think I'll have audio on for this little bit so you can hear it. So, so that's the shot we're going to work on, just so you can get the sound of it. So, I'll turn it off for you, so you don't have to listen to it. And I might kind of start simple with Diamond here. Oh yeah, I can see like how complicated this stuff gets. Ooh yeah. Let's go back to like the beginning and we can see like before she's here. What is it, just her walking? We can just see like the amount of keyframes increases over time as I wanted to get more fidelity into it. And keyframes are the black circles, and then the blue arrows are tweens. So all I'm setting up is keyframe, like the pose. We'll get to it, and then here's another pose, and then the blue arrow is the computer and Flash setting up every frame in between, and interpolates between them. So it's just a huge mess. This is all here is laughing, just bopping up and down. If I did this again, I would probably not do it like this. Having every, like the whole sequence. Hey Marcus. Have the whole sequence, you know, already timed out, and like when I have a break, this is a break in a shot, so this is a different shot, and then so I might now have, if I was to do this again, I probably would have each shot be a different symbol. Like this is all one symbol. This is DT, Diamond Tower, all. So yeah, so you can see like here, the shot changes, but it's the same symbol that I could drag this around and it'll be the same object essentially. So this only works, you know, like that because, at least it functions for me like this because the animatic is completely tied down. That the timing of the animatic was just one audio sequence, and there was like no way to really change it because it already had music in it. So I couldn't really edit the Welcome to Folly one, the Fall Life Celestia. Why did I just open that? There's no reason. That was weird. I didn't open that. The Fallout Celestia had... Hey, thanks, Marcus. I try. The Fallout Celestia had each audio line, like every voice line, as a separate file. So then I can drag the files and then edit the timing between each line. So... Skipping another frame. I don't know why. That's so weird. So anyway, because this is, this is all one audio track, I can't, change the pacing of it, what you would say. So that helps with the animation, I guess, that originally thought to have a break it by having one puppet, and then when the shot changes, I can just use the same object and then make it a different, in this case, change the angle and then continue animating. So I would probably just now only have, one symbol per shot. So, but we can see. I like this little hop at the end. Well, money. Yeah. And then now we're up to here where she should be acting, but there's no keyframes yet because I haven't got there yet. So, yeah. Hey, there we go. So Ed Prince Stairs is the director and story writer for this project. So if you have any questions for him, or if you have any more information to add to this, both ways, yeah, go ahead and ask him in the chat anything while I figure out what I'm gonna do for this shot here. Let's see. So I gotta listen to the audio. Guess I can turn on, but I don't know if you get distracted or not, if it's too loud. I can't quite figure out how to audio mix it, so it'll just sound really quiet, so you can hear me more. Like I'm acting myself like I'm hearing like the tonations of Pinky. Pinky's actually talking in this shot, so I'm just adding the reactions of Diamond. So I'm just trying to figure out at what point she should be. Because she is reacting, I feel like I should animate Pinky first, so then the timing will be more exact. So I might just start doing that. Okay. And if for some reason I had her head turn at the end here, but I didn't quite like how her hair goes in front of her face. It should be underneath her head, which is on that layer. Such as simple as dragging it down like that. There we go. Yeah. I'll do what I can do, but that was limit text appear on your screen right late. Well, you're the 1 millionth person to say that my streams have lag. Okay. I mean, that's... I don't know what else I can do about that. Okay. Let's say the damage here. It's look accurate. Oh, cool. Yeah. Should I call you Ed? Is that easier? Or Gamer Specs or whatever? Like, how should I address you? Never really had to have any way to contact you. Address you. So, but he's really stingy about hair designs and having the models make sense. I'll get to that later. I think I should work on back here. Just yeah, lame. All right. Yeah. Okay, we'll make it less lame. I'll work on stuff. I'll make it super fantastic for you. Right, I have to watch out for if... Yeah, they're on the guide layer. There. And then that's over there. Okay. It should be... I mean, that looks good. But then here... I want to add like a outline on that end. Okay, Ed, yeah. Thank you. So I need to add this neck hair to be even below here, down here. Okay. Yeah, Pinky is like very angry in this scene that she heard Diamond and Tiara bullying Derpy. So now she's upset that like you shouldn't be, you know, be making fun of Derpy. And then she like gets on this angry rant, and that's what this part is. That she's like, I'm not gonna do your birthday parties, or or your dad can have your money back. Yeah, if you heard that. Okay. I think I'll just kind of start by like wiggling her and time with her voice. I'm gonna delete parts that I know that will be out of frame. Boop. Like you can see the canvas is only this size, so anything outside that frame I could just delete to make it easier for me. Like I might even get rid of her arms there too. And then I think, yeah, other times I would just add every layer to be up high as I can. Just to make it so I don't have to scroll this high up to see everything. So this is a very old puppet that I made. I made this practically whole puppet from scratch. If you can see back here, well, her eyes wasn't quite so it's set up to another shot. That's where our is difference. But you can see that I had to draw every shot angle for her. So I had to design every character and every angle. So, and then for every character, so this is a lot of work, and so I'm just trying to get this animation going, and it's just you can see how long this is gonna take. So I'm just gonna move everything up, and then because I got some guide layers, I have to be careful to not put things on this guide layer. But I'm just gonna move everything up. Whoop whoop whoop. What's the rest of this we're running? Oh, okay. Are you like foreshadowing there? Like for the rest of this? Because this is just like Act 1 or like a prologue kind of thing to this whole thing. Like how long do you think the running time? Yeah. For this whole thing will be, Ed. Because I like read your whole script, and it just it's like episode length kind of. I mean, practically. Okay, looks like we're good on that. So I just organized every layer to be up at top, so now I can hide everything else, and there we go. Okay. So now I can start working on this. So I'm just gonna add Pinky's basic body poses by following with the ups and downs of what she's saying and trying to emote. So let's listen to the dialogue. It's like in between the shot is like in between two. Her line is between two shots. So I can see you're like going down. This money. Might go to view to make everything preview mode, maybe like anti-alias to make things faster. Or I could just hide everything else like this. There we go. Hopefully this will run smoother for you. Yeah, it's just prologue. Aiming for about 22 minutes. Okay. And, you know how long, you know, realistically that will take, I mean, to, like, make this a full animation if you wanted? I mean... So I'm just thinking, like, you know, other people who tried doing something similar, like Double Rain Boom, you know, took like 100 artists, you know, like a few years to get this going. So, unless you have a think about a team like that, then I don't know if that's gonna happen quickly. Because even this like 2.5 minute shot sequence has taken me like about 2 years off and on. This is like her recoiling down, just so when back she can spring back up. So I'm doing like a sort of anticipation. We're going down and then just kind of squeeze everything down. I squish everything more in the second keyframe, so there's a slight recoil up. Spawny back, and then they just get it like spring up. So I'm just adjusting each of these bits to where I want it and how I would think they would move. And then we extreme in the second keyframe to make it more and follow through over everything. Okay, I'm liking that. I'm gonna see what I can build up to make this finish. I mean, I've heard like some people, like that one team who wanted to make another full-length animation, that like they kind of gave up and made it a radio play. Forgot who did that, but like it started out with like a music video kind of startup, and then they said, okay, this is about too much, so they had to make it a radio play kind of thing. So because you know you do Ed does on his channel like audio dubs and whatever you call them, hooded quickies and stuff, where they have comic dubs. I can see I can accentuate this a little bit more, so I can see something like that. But just having this prologue being animated, the whole thing is a quick mini-series. That makes more sense, having a mini-series. It's been a while. Just as that, as a hooded quickie. Okay. Just seems like some acts are like almost like 5 or 10 minutes long, that it's not gonna be too much of a quickie then. Get back. Back. Cause I could do the same thing, cause we're gonna get her down. I should get rid of a landline. I won't really use it. You can use my other Skype and Discord, man. Cause I should probably explain what's going on here. Is that I have a script layer where I timed out each thing, so every word has its own tag, That was easy to do lip sync with. And then the sound layer, so I can see the wave file. I can see when there's dialogue, you know, stuff like that. And then all the rest of these layers are just the parts that I've been moving around. So move down a little bit more. See how that works. And here's where she like springs way up and real quick. What is about 5 minutes? I could say 3 minutes. It's not even part of the same scene. Oh wow. 3 minutes per part. Okay. I mean that's what this part is, practically. It's about whatever 153. What is that? Divided by 60. Yeah, it's about 2.5 minutes. So if we go back. Now she's gonna be up higher because she's like not. So your voice is higher, so I'm just imagining her moving up really quickly to enunciate what she's saying, to like follow through what she's saying. I can see this as a 100% ease out, because I can cheat a little bit of that. Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, you're filling up the chat. Letting someone else talk, man. Yeah, I'm just joking around, but man. How many else? We got 2 other people. Alright. Like, I don't even want to read it. Now it's well, welcome to Techno, and I missed. Well, I'm from. Alright. Yeah. I think we're all less experienced in our own fields back then. Not go host a party. Not host a party. Yeah. I mean, it eventually becomes self-explanatory what I'm doing. I'm just kind of now just going through the motions of the motions. So, wanted that to be 50. There we go. I have a little. My glove has a little dirt on it. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Host. That's just going down. Just so when she says something louder or higher pitch, it'll make a bigger impact. I can see that her head is not following her neck. Okay. Alright. Says my stream health is a little low, like it's in orange. Am I doing okay? Am I like buffering or anything? I look okay. In my preview there. Okay. God, it's a little... I think it's like the dried sweat on my glove. That's like getting on my screen now. Ah. Okay. I can host your party from... I can see her kind of shimmying to the left because she's like trying to, cause this is like her birthday party. So it's all about context and making sure that you fully know the story when you animate, to make sure everything's, you know, similar and make sure everything's continuity wise good. Oh, but she says you after it. This might not be. Whoa. Text don't come in for about a minute. Last time I checked, like a couple weeks ago, it was like only like 20-ish seconds. So that's more rough. Well, I don't think I've skipped like 4 frames. So that's what that's telling me. Ah. Oh, hey. Hey, Saraswati. I mean, you didn't really miss too much. I mean, there's a lot of progress in this shot. But yeah, that's about it that you missed. So don't worry about it. And again, all the information you need, Saraswati, is in the description. At least a little bit. I just added like one quick paragraph in there about the project. Ooh, I like that. That was like accidental, like I kind of twisted her head because this is where Diamond is gonna be. And I'm gonna have her sloop over to the right, just barely. Yeah, I'm a bit quiet. That I have to listen to the audio really closely, make sure everything. Okay. I think we're making really good progress in this shot. I thought this shot would take a bit longer, but I think it'll get more complicated at the end of it. That we got this weird bit, the head turn. Okay. Keep picking up on the ponies. You keep picking on other ponies. Pick. I will say, like, this is sort of how I work. That I am just pretty much quick and not really. I mean, this is just, you know, the first pass to the body animation, and then I would then go back through the whole thing, scrub it again, and then do the head animation, which it's mostly just doing the eyes at this point, and then the hair bubble. So, this is not the end of this shot. Picking. Then we go down a little bit. Yeah, I'm just following the crescendo and the wavelengths of it to see. I'm kind of using that as my guide to to say should you go up or down or left and right based on all that. I'm seeing like her body is it's moving up, so I don't quite want that. So I'm gonna move her down. Not sure what I'm doing with this little bit here. Can you hear it? Or can you hear Pinky talking? Is it too quiet or is it just fine? Because I don't want it to be too loud or too quiet for you. Okay, she's anticipating herself going up and to the left, maybe, or to the right, not sure. But I gotta make her, before you go up, you have to go down a little bit. So that's what I'm doing there. Oh, cool. Worked on your review and now working on lecture notes. Nice. Lecture notes. You doing a speech? Move that. There you go. She's going down so she can go up on ponies, which is a bit louder and more important. You can see her head going maybe even a bit more over here. And then we have to follow through with that with it over here now. Okay. Yeah, it is. So I asked Pinky question like, yeah, it really was like a minute ago. Wow. In terms of fixing that, sorry. Not paying attention to what I'm saying. To get the stream to be quicker, I would either need, not sure, like, cause I think my connection is probably really good, you know. Like I have the internet connected, wired, so doing Streamlabs to YouTube. So I don't think, unless there's, you know, some hack to get better stream, you know, less lag. Then I don't see me being quicker. But at least, you know, I thought of to have chat in the video, so when you type it, you'll know the lag. Oh, I just have it up because I use shorthand for my notes. Ah, okay. Cool. I guess here. If there were more like storyboards for this shot, I would definitely be using those, but in my case, if I go back, there's only just this one frame here. Like for the whole shot, it's just this one frame, so, which I had to screenshot. I mean, this was like a couple years ago where I was using Premiere to screenshot the, I didn't have the raw file, so I took the animatic video, put it into Premiere, and then took a screenshot of my whole screen, and it had this little timestamp down here that I was using to time it up with this, with my flash timing. So, I mean, that was, you know, one workaround for that, but definitely wouldn't try doing that again. I can see her tilt. Cause she's saying like, which is what DT was saying earlier. So I can make that kind of connection with that kind of subconsciously of that. Not sure who's calling, but I don't care. Boy Pie, how you doing? I can organize them better if they're has lecture notes? Or we're talking about using shorthand? Okay, cool. I'm not quite getting that. Alright, cool. Whatever. I don't remember taking too many notes in class. I'm not sure I did. Just can't remember it. Alright. Ooh, really? They should have better storyboards? Oh, you have a friend storyboard in it. Oh, nice. That'd be better. Are they like more detailed? I mean, having, you know, like cross-hatching shading to a storyboard doesn't matter as much as, you know, the real expression and posing is more important as just a, you know, throwing it out there that having perfect, you know, Leonardo da Vinci kind of style art doesn't matter for storyboards because they're not, unfortunately, going to be seen by the public. They're just for development, just so we can get the story and characters and settings right. So the whole crew is on the same page. So, but if there's more frames and poses per shot and per motion, then that'd be more detailed for animators and everyone else, so we can really see, you know, if you had like a baseball player, you know, pitching. Wait, if you had a baseball player, I guess pitching, that just as a little thing, having a storyboard be, what am I trying to do? B, just trying to press B on my keyboard. If you had a dude who's pitching, and we had him like this, and he has his glove, and then you say, he pitched. No one knows what he's doing. But if you didn't have another one where he, like a second one where he's like winding up, like he has it back here, and he has his arm up, you know, then we have a more, I mean, having, and then you can say, like he really leans in, because he drew it, you know, because he's drawing it now. So just having that one bit is not as good. Like if you'd super made this like super realistic as a storyboard, but if you don't have these other bits to like help us see what the actual motion is, that's kind of what I'm going at, that able to see the motion is more important to animators, obviously, than having, you know, the clearest drawing kind of thing. So, like Derpy. Now she's still super angry, but now just gotta direct it more directly towards Diamond Tiara again. Okay, you'll show me one examples. I guess you can show it to my Discord now. That we got. Or if you can't show that now because you're working on something else. Ed, you're working on some other projects or something for your own channel or something else. That's fine. I can extreme this more. In animation speak, I think what I'm trying to accomplish is trying to have a keyframe at the beginning, and then a keyframe at the end, and then this second one is more of a breakdown and more of an extreme breakdown. That's kind of what our lingo is. So I'm trying to extreme by pushing this pose to be more than this. So there's never a point in reality when something, you know, has no knockback to emotion. Like, you can see that when I drop my hand, there's always that, maybe like 1 or 2 frames of it kind of going up a little bit. So that's kind of what I apply to. I mean, it kind of gets kind of can see what I'm doing in motion, like in the final result, but I think it adds that little more, because I think if you don't include that little whoosh back, then it doesn't feel like it has that much weight to it, and that's what most animations kind of fall flat in that sense, is that it doesn't have the knockback when you do a motion to bring it a little bit up and kind of jitter a little bit. So that's when I kind of, you'll be able to sense it, because when you have it, and it just adds like that, you know, a little bit more weight and stuff. So it just might not be the most clean, you know, thing. Okay, I'm not sure, because I added this head turn like months ago, so a lot to go through and now perfect it. Bye-bye. Thank you. Doing my best. I mean, because this is just an amalgamation of just my whole history of animation here, is that I did the lip sync. Well, I drew all the characters, and then I did the lip sync for the characters, and now I'm doing the body movements, and I did a little bit of eye movements, as you can see from here, that the eyes kind of track and follow as their head moves around. So I'll have to follow her neck moves here. So what I can do is have this keyframe there, and then add the keyframe back, and now it'll follow. Okay. So that's her head there. I can make this maybe one screen, but I might have to go back to going on ones maybe afterward to make sure everything lines up perfectly, because Flash might not be trying to do what I want perfectly right. So I'm just gonna try to get the final pose right first, and then work on making the motion between the two perfect then. We could add a little extreme here too. So now we have to make this a breakdown extreme. I'm gonna rotate a little bit, and then add tweens to everything here. And I can kind of set up this motion for her to start between the two shots. She is going to rotate around. So if I started in this shot, then we already can feel this motion between the two of them, between this shot and the ones where she's here, and then I can follow along through that. Can't find the animatic he did right now. Oh, okay. That's for another copy. That's too bad. I mean, it's fast enough that you can't see that, like, your hair here is a bit weird. Your neck hair. And it would be slightly, this is what they call, like, secondary animation. Is all the things that kind of trail behind objects. So like dresses and hair and tails will all need secondary animation because they'll drag behind the main motion, which is the primary animation. So this will act like a little bit slower and have its own drag and follow through itself. So I'm just trying to find and see what kind of motion it needs. Okay. I think we got the first paths for this. At least the body stuff. The body posing. So you can see, like, each character in the shot adds more and more complexity and more time for everything. So this is just a one character, and then there's Diamond somewhere. Where is she? There you are. So she's also there too, but she's just reacting to Pinky yelling. So how we doing on time? I'm going for about an hour, so I might try to clean up the head animation, and then I think we'll call it good for this stream. Try to keep it kind of short because I mean, not too many people are watching right now to I don't know about if it's the content or it's just a fun Thursday night. So I'll work on the secondary animation for the hair, and then we'll call it good for today. So that means I have to go through all these keyframes now and say, is this dangle, that I call it a dangle hair because it kind of droops and dangles in front of her head there. So, and know that it's big enough to have its own weight to it, so that we know when you move your head enough, then your hair will move too. So it has its own secondary animation that I have to follow through with that. For some of these motions, I might not need it, but then, you know, you'll feel it that like in some shot, you know, in some motions that it's moving, and then some shots it's not actions. In some actions that it's moving, and then some actions that it's not. So it's best to add like a minuscule amount to every little bit. Just make sure there's enough consistency and you feel the weight of it no matter what. And I have to go back to, so this flash is kind of compartment based. You can imagine what she's saying. Something like that. So you can imagine having flash as a bunch of buckets. You can put stuff in your buckets, and then you can put the stuff for the buckets in another bucket, and then you can put that whole bucket of buckets with stuff in another bucket. So what I'm doing is that I have the main bucket, the biggest bucket, that I'm clicking inside to look at my stuff, and it's like, oh, here's another bucket with more stuff. So I'm having to go in and out between, you know, the two buckets with stuff and other stuff with buckets of other stuff. So, and then each of these has its own bucket of other stuff too. So it becomes incredibly complex. Um, but if you if you work with it enough, and especially if you make the puppets, then it becomes simple to navigate through it all. So I have to figure out which way she's moving in this motion. She's moving down right. So when head moves down, then the hair has to drag, which means it has its own gravity and flow through it, that it has to go up, and then extreme down here, which is a little bit, and then it'll go back to its original position. So it'll go whoosh, and we play it. You can kind of feel it. So we'll just go through the whole animation like this, adding keyframes to the hair now. Well, you can ask bucket. I have millions of buckets here. Following through and seeing that she's going up now. So this needs to go down and then up a little bit maybe. And then we just tween it. So now it's whoosh whoosh, which becomes yeah. Okay. So it becomes, like with everything in animation, it just takes like 100 times longer. Each step that you want to add complexity to. So this is just becoming a bit repetitious. There we go. So if there's any more questions, I think Ed was gonna have to leave in a little bit, maybe. So if there's any more questions for the director of this project, the animation, if we don't have any questions for him, I think now will be probably a good time for that, while I play with this hair dangle for probably another 5 or 10 minutes. But I'll try to keep my commentary of it a little bit up as best I can while I'm just doing this way too many times. Hey, Tradashi. Solid diesel expression. Wow, thanks. It's just so much work doing this hair dangle. Well, here's the biggest bit. She's moving up like rocket speed here. So I'm gonna add another keyframe at the end here for it to extreme down later. So we're gonna add way down, and then it's gonna go up a little bit. I'm gonna move this over, just add some time for it to do that, and then there we go. Wait, that's far enough. Okay, you gotta take it easy then. Start study. That's looking pretty good. We're almost about halfway through this hair dangle that we're zipping in and out. In and out. In and out. Okay. Whoosh. Okay, I have to leave in about 10 minutes, so again, if there's anything you want to say to the director of this project that is not for me or my channel, it'll be most probably on Ed's Ed Prince Stairs there channel. Go ahead for that. Yeah. And this is probably not. Never mind. Right, it's just gotta be more of this. I'm trying to go as fast as I can here, but trying to follow the chat too. This is interesting that she's moving sideways now, so it won't go up too high, but it also could be dragged maybe that way, but that kind of moves that whole thing, so I have to make sure that this thing doesn't move. Okay. Okay. And I'm sure, like, you know, they probably would have separate animators, maybe, I would assume, for this kind of secondary animation, like how they have in-betweeners as separate artists. So I can imagine consecutive animation is just it's just having, you know, it's kind of like in-betweening, that it's just kind of just knowing physics and following through with the rest of the animation. So it becomes kind of mindless and you're not really paying attention at the end. Yeah, if that it's still there, then yeah, you can ask questions. For now, sure. Yep. Let's save and let's take a little drink as we're almost there. It's good water. Yeah, it's saving. Okay. Well, now she's gonna be moving much more, so it'll be more exciting, maybe. Now she's moving down. And then way up. And then down. Okay. So let's go back and follow it. It goes down. Then she goes way up. Whoosh, whoosh. Trying to follow it so it doesn't. So it's bent, but it doesn't move in place. Okay. Like that. Yeah, let's try to get some legit questions going for there. Ooh, that felt nice. That's a nice hair bounce there. Okay. Almost there. Then she kind of leans over. Ooh. Okay. Yeah, I believe Star Study Gats the same thing to Fly with Celestia guy, the snowboarder. So it's not the first time, yeah. So don't feel too threatened there. Having fun. Guess I can say like my favorite while we're doing these weird animation bits is my favorite part of animating, like actively animating, is lip syncing. That's my favorite part to animate. It just becomes, you know, kind of mindless at the end too, that you're just kind of following, you know, each syllable, and try to, the more that time that you put into it, the more good it looks, and it just feels really, it feels really good to have a really good looking lip sync at the end. Because I come from, like, you know, liking puppets and stuff, so I know how to, like, you know, get the lip sync to look good with like Muppet kind of characters, with like hand puppet characters. So having kind of translate that into animation is really interesting. So I like doing that. But otherwise, you know, all the expressions and body movements are kind of less fun to do. I mean, they're obviously less, not. They're just, you know, probably more important. I don't even remember what my response to that credit card number was. But having a good foundation is probably more important. Like I said, one of the main principles of animation, one of the 12 principles of animation, is silhouette. So having a really good, if you can see what the character is doing just by their silhouette, then you're doing really well. So of course with here, they're just kind of talking with each other, so it doesn't, there's not as much motion and posing that you really need to. Like if you just had like this going on, you probably would be able to figure out what they're doing just because they're just really only talking to each other in this kind of pose. So here's one where her head's turning around, so I can have her hair dangle in this position, kind of be from the other way. And to make sure that it follows through this way too, and then have its own kind of bounce at the end. By having the breakdown in the middle here. So again, back into position. You can kind of see it, but it's very, very barely there. Oh, I asked yours so we can be weird credit card pen pals. Yeah. Oh, that's great. Yeah. That was like almost a month ago, right, or something. Hey, Anime Night. I'm just having a giant pinky yellow diamond here. Ugh. That's Cintiq tap whopper. Anyway, so if we could ignore diamond here, because we just mainly worked on pinky here, so diamond is not animated. Sensing something, yeah, like there's some weird line. You can kind of see that there's this weird line here. Not sure what that is. Anyway, now it's gone. I think the seam between the two objects was like that, but like a 1 pixel scale. So, and I do all the backgrounds here, so made all these pretty backgrounds, which was also really fun that I was able to kind of pick and place the different assets and put them together, because we see like these same two tents at a different perspective. So it's fun trying to match some references to make sure that they all follow through well. But let's watch Pinky here. Oh, I forgot to turn it on. Okay. I wasn't even watching it. Can I watch it again? I'm sorry. I was just watching the chat there. Okay. Okay, Ed Francers is gonna leave to work on his own projects. And I feel really empty that like I haven't been working too much on this. I've only worked for like an hour, because I usually do like on average about 2.5 hours, so yeah, this is about pretty much your last chance to ask Ed on this project, but I'm gonna watch this. Okay, that's really nice. I'm really pleased with that. Pinky animation there. Of course I can, you know, do another pass and then keep doing another passes and passes until I really like it. But I think I can quickly have Diamond react to Pinky now, because now I have it fresh of what she's gonna be doing. Make sure that line there. I could go into the actual art, move that bit. There we go. And because she's full view here, I don't, like with Pinky, I was able to delete parts of her. Yeah. So I think I'll work for maybe a little bit just to finish this shot with both of them. Make sure it's like a final shot pretty much. And then I might call it quits there. So, but Ed has to leave in a bit. So, yeah. Any more questions for him, go ahead. But you're already working on. Great. I should read some of these. Make 3D image and more difficult. If you're asking me if 3D animations are more difficult than 2D, then I did take a couple courses of 3D classes, and because I wasn't really too oh, what's she saying? Oh, Diamond isn't saying anything in this shot. I think she said, yeah, she says nothing for like this whole bit here. Oh wait, no, she's talking here. All the lines and everything is in the animatic that's in the description that I linked. If you wanna watch the full animatic, then that's in the description. So I'm just working on this shot over here where she's just like, what? Pretty much. But I was saying about 3D and 2D is I worked on 3D for a little bit, but because I wasn't really super accustomed and fluent in 2D animation, 3D was really tricky. Just because it was like, hey, do you know how to animate? No. How about you have a whole third dimension with this camera and you had to like figure out how to use lights, and it's like just became super overwhelming at the beginning. Especially because modeling and then animation and then story was just all drawn at the same time for me. With those couple summer classes. So I'm sure if I try it now, then I probably would try to do it as flat as possible, just because it'd be easier to do these kind of head turns and rotations and stuff. It's really easy. But other than that, I don't think I'll be able to animate fluidly or anything worthwhile well. But I can see like I can follow Drew with her blink animation. To get back to here, what I like to do is when she's blinking, that's when you start doing an animation of her kind of. I have a shadow, so I can lock that to make sure I don't touch that shadow. But just gotta go down a little bit. And then a little bit up more. And just gotta like rotate her head like a little bit confused. Oh man, you're having a whole conversation. I'm missing it. Yeah, let me do a start so I did and highlight my name. However you did that. I guess just type in my name. Let me know if you have any more questions for me. But you probably should keep asking Ed while he's still here. Anything? That's looking good. It's a bit quick. So I might make this a breakdown and extreme this just barely. Okay. Yeah. That's a lot of stuff. Wow. Okay, yeah, we're making connections. Woo, we all have diseases or whatever it's called. Yeah. Not really diseases, I'm sorry. Qualifications. Classifications. Man, I'm sorry, I'm not a doctor. I don't know what I'm talking about. And then she, getting back to here again. She's gonna blink again, which means I can. She's saying not, so I can kind of tilt her. I mean, just kind of skew her in a way. Like that. Just add that a little bit, and you can kind of feel it. That's kind of what you want to do with little small actions. It's just enough to be able to feel it. Not essentially, you know, making a whole grand gesture. It's more just like a, yeah. Oh yeah, that's true. I suppose. Thinking about it now, I'm wondering if her hair needs to, but it falls over her head really tough. Trying to think if it needs to have that same kind of dangle that we did with Pinky. I don't think I've been doing that with the rest of it, so I don't think I'll now start, because I think that'll be a bit jarring to kind of have that boost in quality, sort of, near the end. When she starts blinking here, which means she can, about here, about halfway, she goes down, and then she moves it to a different position, and then that's a breakdown for the next pose, which I can't do because I need that. And she goes up. And then she's a little bit more astride over there. That's a breakdown for this, which this is now the extreme. So we need to extreme it a little bit more by making her follow through and make her head go up a little bit more. This is pretty much what I was doing with Pinky too, but I've just perfected this kind of style of bounciness. And that's kind of what I do. It's like with traditional animators that they kind of keep flipping through their different pages to see if the motion looks right and feels right. So I'm getting in the Discord. What do you want? Hey! Cool. Okay. So I'm flipping through the pages like over and over to make sure that they it looks good. And she blinks here, so between this and here we need to, well, who's saying anything? Oh. What just happened? Nothing you mind. Okay. So she blinks here. So between here and here. Picking. So immediately after that you can kinda start kinda shrinking a little bit maybe. Like kinda going down a little bit. Like she's like, I need to get out of here kind of thing. Like, should I flee or fight now? Like she's like distressed now because she's like witnessing Pinky like really going at her now. So she's not like sure like how far she'll take it now. So like you have to make your own kind of judgments kind of things and kind of get your own performances out of through their. Here's another blink. And you can do the same thing again. I can follow what she did there. And it's good that she's also reacting to another phrase at this point too. And then we kind of follow the arc a bit there. Bit more confused. And I can kind of see her like kind of shifting her eyes. Like, did you see that? Did you hear what she said? Like moving her eyes back and forth. But maybe that'll be in the next shot because that's more. Because we want to focus on Pinky as the main thing. This is a breakdown for an extreme. Here. For the next bit, that goes down a bit. Boop. Do you think there'll be a series of the film of difficult? Ah. Snake. Okay, now you're going off about snakes again. Cool. And then she doesn't blink. I can see her kind of still, kind of like, should I still be here, kind of thing. Like I'm not sure if I want to hang out around here now. I'm kind of scared now. Let's break down for an extreme. I'm probably using that wrong, but I know what that means to me as my own terminology. So I'll just keep using it. Okay. So I think we got maybe this shot done. If I didn't want to do the hair, Diamond Tiara's hair up and down. Okay, let's watch this. Okay. I mean, it's not the focus of the shot, so just having her still acting is good. Because I could have had her just, you know, stay still the whole time. But I think having her kind of react and kind of going, you know, kind of jimmying back a little bit and kind of like taking it back by each words that Pinky is saying. And I like how she kind of rotates her head a little bit. That adds a lot more character to her. Yeah. So I could go back in and kind of move her eyes a little bit. But I think that might be a bit much. But I can at least try it. Let me just check to see. Check my Discord to see if anything's freaking out here. I think we're good. Maybe you posted in the chat thing? Nope. Okay. Yeah, we're good. Oh, your chat's having fun there, huh? We got some tweens there, even though it's a shadow. Shadows don't tween if they're not really gonna be, no one's moving, so. In there I can. Sorry if you heard that. The animation audio was just kind of like a weird sped up record. I think it's fine. I don't think I'll have the eyes shifting around. And so we did that from just this one storyboard. So, yeah. I think I did pretty good expanding on it and stuff. Oh, man. Thanks, Softmouth. I try. Let me just translate what you said. Oh, you just said, do you speak Portuguese? Well, I don't. So, there you go. I'm going for an hour and a half. I think we'll give it to maybe like a vote. I know it starts that he has to like... No, Ed. If he's still here. Or if Ed needs to leave or not. We'll give it to a vote if we should move on to the next shot and work on that today, or should we just leave it with this one shot that we worked on? Yeah. She's saying if the series based off the movie will be hard to animate. To me, well, probably will be hard because if we're talking about the MLP movie that was made in Toon Boom, which is a completely different application program than what I'm used to. So it probably would feel to me like using 3D than, you know, just start animating in that kind of style. I do have, I probably shouldn't open it. I don't know what's gonna happen. I do have some puppets that are based on the movie style, like the art style aesthetic, like how they have much more detailed and different proportions and whatnot. So, I mean, I can animate with that because I made those puppets, but other than that, there's probably some, you know, specific Toon Boom tools and stuff, like techniques, that I probably won't be able to use in Flash. So, it'll probably be hard because I haven't used Toon Boom ever. I think I tried it for like maybe like an afternoon and said, I don't want to use this. It was just overly complicated with the UI and stuff, and I didn't want to spend the time actually learning it. So, anyway, yeah. I'm really happy with that. Like, I was so afraid of like this head like flipping around, but I think in motion it looks fantastic. Yeah. And you can see, let's go back to the storyboard here. If we're getting a preview for the next shot, is just this. So for like this, like 1, 2, 3, 4 second shot of just this one storyboard here. And we gotta get the sound, and it's gotta save. Okay. So. And then Applejack would show up later, like right here.
Calm down there, sugar.
Which is just
Sugar cube.
them together, pretty much. Our eyes are messed up, or maybe I meant it like that. I don't know. They just have this look at it shuttered thing. But I can animate this. This will be quick. So I can have her just spin her head. So I could do that. I could do that real quick with these two. If I wanted to quit right now, kind of thing. Kind of jumping ahead, but I think this will be real quick to do. Let's see. So we got them there, and then around here, maybe. I'll add a whole keyframe for everything, and that'll all set up. Pretty much a breakdown here. And the breakdown is like in between 2 keyframes is what I'm gonna go off, just so we know what we're talking about. And then this will be the relax between there. So, but here to here, we need a little bit back, and the rest of the body needs to kind of follow through with that. Do that, and then do that. It's already looking better. Thinking your head needs to be a little bit higher. I think she like moves her head way too far out. Like that. And to follow through with that, to make sure that this keyframe is also similar. We gotta make sure one of them favors each other. The breakdown needs to favor either the front end or the back end. So, might favor the back end here with the breakdown. Okay. This is your settle back into normal position. And this whole thing could be a breakdown for her to be a little bit more that way to then settle her back the other way. Okay. Yeah. Ow. Yeah. I mean, I'm starting my streams at the same time, so you should be able to know when, you know, I'm live. So, because here it kind of needs to disappear, and I don't want an empty keyframe there. Your head needs to go down, I believe, here. Because I don't have like an in-between head thing. Yeah, okay. Ed's gotta leave. Okay, later. Yeah, I'll talk to you later then. Yeah, he's gotta go work on other projects to make sure his channel is up and running. Getting all that content out. Same with me. Except I'm working for his channel in a way with this project. So that's why he's here, and I'm making sure that, you know, he gets a little priority here, you know. So, need to make sure. Oh yeah, we could do eyes now. For some reason, I thought having the eyes be their own buckets was a good idea. And then I saw, I think Minty and other people, I believe the regular real show animators, with their puppets, they use, they have all these eye symbols, all these in the all the symbols in the head bucket, so to speak. Okay, looks good. Now we can do the other eye. Make sure it's timed right. So what I'm doing is that because I made all the art for this, I know what does what. So from here I'm using the frame picker, which is a little widget that's in the newer versions of Animate. So if you have an older version of Flash, you won't see that little thing. It's very useful, as you can see that it just immediately was able to pick the right frames I wanted. So this is misaligned, so I'll fix that. That's just my fault from having vector discs, you know, 2 to 3 years ago. So now we can see, and there we go. Ta-da! That's better shit. I think that'll be all of that. I don't need to really animate for this shot, and then for at least for her, and then we need to do the exact opposite for Silver here. So could do that, or I can spare you that. We can move on to something else, because we still got viewers. So unless all the viewers left, then I'll be more inclined to stop. But because I got since I got 6 people watching, that I'll keep going. But as we go, there's more weird shots, like this shot where you're supposed to be like walking here. Get the sound. So somehow, I don't know if it's actually a cut, but I took it as just one continuous shot between here and here. So I was thinking it'd probably just be easier to just have this as one shot, but then they have to switch perspective and size and everything. So that's Derpy, Pinkie Pie, and Applejack there. This cloud kicker is from the first shot where everyone gets this prize, but because she's out of canvas, she doesn't exist. So It's okay. But yeah, I did the lip syncing
Come on, Derpy. You,
on Pinky.
you don't need this kind of treatment.
Because honestly, I could just have them just kind of slipper, along. You know what that means? Because I just made it up. Where they would slipper along, where they would just kind of slide. I guess just sliding across like that. And then just add like some legs moving up and down. Can you call Star Study either SS or choose Shuffle GK? Or is GK just kidding? Now I'm confused. Or your history major. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll just call you Star Study. That'd be easier. And then this shot. Let's see what this is about. So that's all I had to work with. Oops. So let me bring that back there. So Pinky walks out of shot, and then Applejack flips around. Yeah, so I haven't touched. I think I made that flip around like a year or more ago. So I feel like I improve every, at least every, every year or so. So watching this now when in like my animations from, a year ago, I just kind of, I cringe that it's just, it could be so much better. If I knew. This shot's pretty easy. Here that she just needs to act while talking to them. And then I guess the school ponies just react. Her eye's like in the wrong place. Like her right eye should be like down here. If you can see that. And down in this corner. Can I fix that now? Yeah. Alright. Clean it up. That's what we do. So what we need to do is just kind of whoop. Of course that makes her a little bit cross-eyed, but because, I don't care. I think it'll work. Need to be about the same size, and there we go. See, that looks way better.
Y'all better stay out of trouble now, or else your parents will hear about this.
You can see what I said about the lip syncing, if you can hear it. I keep saying that. I just have it really kind of low, just because I don't want it to be overpowering with me. But I think the lip syncing is probably my best work in this.
Y'all better stay out of trouble now, or else your parents will hear about this.
And I think I don't remember if I had keyframe picker, frame picker, which is this. I'm pretty sure I had like an older version, which was like a separate extension for Flash that was called like frame picker, but it was made by like CloudKit or something. So it's like a third-party extension to Flash in the older versions that basically did this. So you can click here, and then you can say, I want this one, and it switches. So makes lip syncing, the way more quicker. Ah, there you go. There's some real history going on there. And this shot, her like arm hoof thing is like up in the storyboards, I believe. So that one is up, so we can work on that. How do we get that up? Because she doesn't have an up in this. Oh yeah, because at the beginning, if you remember that, then Pinky had these, oh, they're hidden, okay, these arms that are up. So I have to go back out so I can get back to this bit. You can see them there. They're just always there. So I just need this bit up on this layer, and then I need to delete it there. And so now I got the arm in a different position, which is the position that's the opposite of what we wanted there. So Eh. Ah. OC creeps you out. Maybe you should have a better OC. Sorry, man. I got a lot of guide layers. Oh, I have guide layers because, because again, I started this project, 2014, 15. Yeah. So, um, because I'll probably explain it in other places too that I have these little guide layers there because they to match the canvas size, so I can see where the canvas boundaries were. Because if I put the background here, if I just had this, I would not know where the canvas size was. If this black box around here was not there, I wouldn't know where my canvas is. Especially if you like start zooming around and you're trying to zoom in here and you're like, where's my canvas, So, one of the best features, probably the most, overlooked is having this black box around so I can see. Having this little box here at the top so I can see exactly what the canvas will be. So,
Y'all better stay out of trouble now, or else your parents.
the scale of this is a bit weird. I'm seeing. Like I can see like they're not in the exact same positions as here. Like where's Applejack? Applejack's there and she's way bigger. Something like that. Maybe a little bigger. Trying to follow the storyboard now. For some reason I didn't think about that. Okay. Yeah, it's saving. Can't do anything while it's saving. Okay. Actually, it looks really big. Ah, it's confusing now. I like their head size. Trying to look at the scale of it. It looks alright. For some reason, her neck is not connected. What's up with that? Let's take a look at that. Huh. It's like her mouth doesn't. It's like it's got a hole there. Okay. This is. You see a lot of weird stuff when you start animating. It's like stuff you don't expect when you start moving like one bit. Is like affects everything else. Things kind of look really weird. That's a little better? Okay. Woo. Sorry about that. Hey, good job it looks like. Thanks, Jasmine. Yeah, so I hope to, I was hoping to finish it like before Christmas last year. But that didn't happen, so with these streams I hope to feel more motivated and, get things done with these different projects that I feel like I wouldn't start working on otherwise. Okay, I don't know what Apple Pony is doing here. This is getting weird. So she flips around, sort of, and then she's like, oh no, and then it cuts to her again. And then she's like, what's over there? And then she's happy and starts walking down. I mean, I would say about, at least a quarter to maybe a half with this kind of animation is mostly just fixing your own mistakes as you go along. So, just by moving one bit can, as we saw, like create a gap, but then that gap needed other bits to be moved around to make sure that that gap was good. And then, yeah, these are like the final two shots. And just zoom in on her, and that'd be it. Yep. Okay. So back here. So everything else back here is pretty much whatever that I'm kind of happy with. So I'm not like, it needs to be better because I know new stuff, you know, as of today. Or at least, you know, having more diligence to do something better. Sorry, that might have been a bit loud.
If you're picking on some pony for something like Asperger's syndrome, that is very well my problem!
Like, I probably wouldn't have done the hoof animation, you know, probably like 2 years ago. I probably just have their, might have been just
You continue,
lip syncing.
and I won't organize your birthday party this week.
This looks a bit weird, but because you can see the canvas, that it's gone.
This weekend, or any other parties for you! What? But my dip.
You just see that little eye twitch? I thought of that. Because that's not in the storyboard at all. It's just all just flat here. Haha. So I thought of it. Yeah. Woo. That's so good. Thank you.
What? But my dip.
Just this little eye going down. Oh, I like that little. It's my dad. My dad.
Paid you good money for this weekend. Well, your dad can have
Ooh.
weekend.
This is like the best shot. Like Silver moves her head to respond to hear now what Pinky's saying. And then this is the one that we worked on today. Close it so we can see that.
Dad can have his money back, because I'm not going to host a party if you keep picking on other ponies like Derpy. Do it again.
But I would say, like, just looking at it now, that it looks a bit, like, bit too much motion. But I think that kind of works with her personality. You know, that she's probably more animated than everyone else.
Dad can have his money back, because I'm not going to host a party if you keep picking on other ponies like Derpy. Do it again. Ponies like Derpy. Do it again.
I'm just so blown away that I got this hair dangle to look right.
Do it again.
But I will say, like, this head outline, if you can see that, doesn't quite match up. Ow, sorry. Not quite sure how to fix that. I mean, I could layer this. You just see, like, it kind of like matrix the frames down here. That was crazy. Ah, but I can't put the. I wanted to put this whole symbol behind the neck, but because it goes in front of the neck, I'll later have to do it in 2 parts, which will take probably forever too. Well, maybe not too much because it's only this bit. It's only like half a second here, but it doesn't. You probably don't want to keep watching me figure that technical bit out.
Derpy. Do it again.
Another thing is that with the eyebrows, is that I want to make sure that the eyebrows don't like collide weird. This is like my secondary eye, I guess, to make sure that the timing between the eyes makes sense. So instead of doing that by having, you know, all the eyes bits, like all these bits, as a bucket, if you had a bigger bucket and then put everything in that, it makes the head bucket bigger, but it makes zooming in and out of the eye bucket and then go to the other eye bucket, making sure that they sync up right. And if they get really complicated at some points, it just becomes a big mess of, okay, you know, trying to remember each frame number for every action that happens. And if they get, you know, super complicated with different stuff going on, like if the irises or the eyebrows started freaking out. So I'll have to. I mean, I know, you know, I have better puppets now. Like I made a new one that has all the eye bits in the head bucket. So I'm just having to continue with this, and that's kind of why I kind of wanted to not keep working on this, just because it's so much more trouble because I did that. I'm gonna animate the brow to match with this eye opening. Of course, this is something you probably wouldn't really see much in motion. I'm just trying to align it with this eyelash. Have its own little spring on it. And that's just this little bit that adds nothing too much to it, but you can feel it. Just barely. And same thing too then, now I had to, what I was saying, I have to memorize what number it was. I have this keyframe here, which is easy. But to keep it the same, I'll have to, you know, carefully match it up now. And make sure it's the same thing, the same action. And you can imagine that timesing that by having, because this is the white, and then we got the black, and then the blue, and then the eyelashes are all different. So the syncing those all up is really tough. I think that looks good. Oh, buckets from Yoshi's Island. Yeah, I can see that. Like from the first castle, the first like dungeon. Had those weird buckets. Yeah. Ow. Okay. Closing in on 2 hours of working on this. So if there's any more like general questions for like me, like if you want to see any other parts of this, anything else, any other questions for anything, keep that open while I try to pot around with this now, or just the rest of this. I can get this ready, maybe impose this out. Voices animation? Yeah, I had no part of that either. Okay. Yeah, we had some conflicts with the voice actors, but that was easily resolved and we got that fixed today. So we're all good with that, but I had no input in that, so I wasn't even in the recording parts or anything. Yeah. Wario World, it was coming a second in my mind. Wario World. Was Wario World like the that was a GameCube one, right? Like it was like an adventure game. That was like probably the most creative like GameCube game, or like really any game ever. Just had the most like, I never played it, but I just watched like a couple maybe like a playthrough of it. That it just seems like really cool. Like different mechanics that you probably wouldn't see in other platform games. That really fun. Probably want to play that sometime. Cause I really like Wario. I like Wario better than Waluigi. It's just like its Wario minigames collections are really fun. Yeah. Do you live with your family? I mean, yeah. What's it to you? I mean, did you live with a family when you were young? Did you just kind of come out of a test tube and then say, hello, where do I work? Yeah. So I just got out of college like last year, so I don't have enough money to really rent a place yet. This is really my only job right now, so trying to get some funds to start working on real life stuff. Oh, sorry again. How did I learn? And why are you going? It's more of a beat up. Oh, interesting. I saw it more of as a platformer. But how do I animate? I mean, it started off with just, you know, learning how to draw. It's the most important part. WarioWare, totally. Drawing is probably the most important part of animating. So, started drawing, you know, just scribbles as a kid. And then kind of took it from there, from like flipbooks, love flipbooks, watching cartoons over and over, looking at the behind the scenes of like Pixar movies, like how they did, like I watched the Monsters Inc. DVD production behind the scenes videos like over and over, just because I loved like seeing how they make stuff. I was really interested in productions of like how they make movies and cartoons was really interesting. So I think I mean that's probably where I learned like the process of production. Like you make a story, you make a storyboard, you make an animatic, you voice it, you start designing characters, you just keep going on. Animation, you know, post-production, sound effects, in that kind of order is was kind of like how I learned. Like it's pretty much the same order that I've been using for all my cartoons and my animations. So learning from that, from just trying to do flip looks, which was just, you know, simple, you know, you draw something on one page, then put paper on top of that, like having a sticky note or sticky pad kind of thing. And taking some art classes, like figure drawing. A lot of people say that it's good, but if you're just going to be drawing cartoons, just having a really good sense of model sheets, it's probably just as good. It's probably enough. That's probably not the best advice. I just never really cared about figure drawing, but I think it'll probably help me a lot more because I feel like my art is very... Hey Jasmine, thanks. My art is very flat, which I kind of took inspiration from critiques like that to just make it flat, flat as I can be, by having Paper Mario style. So that's kind of where that came out of. I was like, I want to just animate, you know, stories and then, you know, have fun with that. But I didn't want to spend too much time, you know, actually caring with this kind of stuff. Like I had to care about like where their head is looking and what kind of angle it is, you know. Like here, this is like super more complicated than in any of my cartoons. From like here, you know, like her whole head just rotates. So stuff like that. So, and of course, you know, as I say, like practice makes perfect. That doing the same thing over and over is probably really good. Because I've kind of done that for about 150-ish cartoons on my channel. So I think I perfected it enough, at least in that Paper Mario style, to then kind of, I wanted to evolve because I feel like I kind of stagnated with that style, to then try and, that's when I did the, don't really know what to really call it. In my files, I call them cutout style for the Tempest, Princess Tempest flashback thing from the MLP movie. So I like that style, and I was like, it was flat enough and like kind of, it was a mix between pointy ponies and, you know, like real, you know, show animation, because in the flashback style it had very simple shapes and very few symbols and parts, and it also had like, you can rotate their head, you know, and have frames for every bit of the head rotating around. And I was like, okay, that's a good mix, and I like that style, and it's like super cute. So I started working with that and making my own puppets with that. So, and as I go, you know, I keep perfecting it. So I'm glad I found something that was like an in-between for all that. How old? How old are you? Because what am I? Like, I'm 22, so if that helps. Oh. Yeah. Which one do you mean, Star Study? I'm sure you made a bunch. And have you seen the making of it? Well, PD has his own kind of production style that's much more traditional, kind of on paper. We're having to draw like PD would in some cases. In some cartoons, like he would draw this as a whole picture, and then he would have to draw this as a separate picture, you know? So, for me, as you saw, like, I'm just kind of rotating and scaling and transforming the parts I already have and just kind of bouncing them around, which is probably the cheapest and simplest way to animate, but it still works if you have everything's on tweens and on ones, or at least twos. Having them both at the same time makes it more convincing and makes it look a little better. So, but I'm probably sure that I've seen some of PD's stuff. PD, I was gonna say PD Piranha, Pika PD. He does like comment on my videos and say there's not enough Pikachus in my cartoons. He's right. This is a extreme face there. Not sure what that line at the beginning was. This line. I think it's... Oh, it's trying to show that, but somehow it's below that? How does that work? What even... I don't even know what's going on with his mouth now. Am I young? Yeah, I suppose, yeah. I mean, I feel older every day. A little gunk on there. What is this? Oh, it's her eye? Oh. Like her eye is too big, and because it's layered on top. So what I could do, maybe, that might work. Let me see. I got the mixture between there. Is there a point when having mouth above top eye bad? Not really.
Come on, Derpy. You don't need this kind of treatment.
Well, that's kind of cool. Little X-ray mouth there.
Derpy, you...
Calm down.
Okay. I might really only need it for like here. Then cut it there, and then just cut it there. Because it's not a guide, it should work. You should be able to see it. Yep. Okay. There we go. Fix it. Yeah. So what happened was the eye squint shape is this big, and because it was layered on top of the mouth, it was cutting a little bit of the art of this big mouth shape there. So I put this mouth on a top layer on top of everything, just make it simple there. Now I got this little skull. Okay. Nothing. Okay. So she's like yelling here.
Whoa. Calm down. Down there, Sugar Cube.
You should be breathing a bit heavy. Like her. She like really getting in there. She just yelled there in that shot. But I believe Pika Petey, like, he does Toon Boom, which is, you know, it can do this kind of puppet work, or, you know, drawing. Because, like, as you saw, like, I can do, like, a whole animation digitally just by drawing stuff like this. And it can be frame by frame, but it's also digital, so it's more traditional. Tradigital is what they call it. So, it wasn't Baltimore by, like, Minty and Smutters, or maybe, yeah, PKP helped, I believe, but I think Minty was like the head of it. How many days does it take to animate? Yeah, I'm not sure, Desmond. Well, you know, it depends on what you're animating. Just for reference, I was making cartoons like every week, like 4 years ago. Like, I would have a cartoon uploaded like every Tuesday for like almost like a year. That was like insane, you know. Of course, that destroyed, you know, all my social life, and I couldn't do anything else because these take, you know, I guess a week to animate. Like, I was getting to the wire just for no reason, just for my own schedule wants. Like, there was no reason or obligation for me to have that kind of schedule, which I'm now realizing, so I'm just gonna take it easy for this year. Like, I've already got enough of a following to kind of take it easy this year. And I think these streamings is kind of like my middle ground, where I'm able to have content in between what I'm gonna call these lulls. So, but yeah, I was doing really simple ones like 3 or 4 years ago in like a week, doing it like practically almost like a part-time job practically, and then I was doing for like a year, well, like the last couple years, I would say, in about 2 to 3 weeks. But I would have, like, you know, the stories and stuff already set up way beforehand, so it's more just production that takes 2 to 3 weeks instead of like pre-production, you know, taking too long. Is already factored out of it at that point. Really? Well, yeah, Baltimore was that project. Baltimore, Good Molten Baltimore was done with puppets. I think there might have been like one character or something that was made traditionally. Can't quite remember if that was or wasn't the case. Oops, there we go. And it is fun to have different kind of styles that you can back up with. Like, if you ever get like an animation job and they say you can't use puppets, then it's like good to have that kind of drawing skill. It's really good. So, of course, you gotta also know puppets if they want you to do that too. So it has to be do both ways, and I think I'm kind of a bit too far knowing about puppets to really express myself and express characters on twos, frame by frame. Oh, you're starting to draw on computer because I usually draw on paper. Ah, draw on paper. Yeah, I got the little table over there. I have a little table with a glass top, and I put a flashlight under it and made my own little studio. So I'm trying to go back into traditional, and you're trying to get into digital. That's funny. I'm really just putting around, just trying to talk for you now. I'm not trying to work on anything. But thanks for the questions. There she's yelling. And I think you saw earlier that they don't have bottoms, they don't have legs or anything below it, because you don't really need it if the canvas is like that. And I have a Also over there, I have an actual animation frame, production frame, and it has like, it's like an upper, like a chest up shot of a character, and then for the bottom they just drew a line across, and because they have the safe size of the TV canvas, and where the camera itself will, you know, take a picture for the safe size. Anything outside that is going to be pretty much deleted, so you can put whatever you want outside of it. So that's kind of what I'm doing here, is that I don't need to draw the rest of their bodies off the frame, but I can make sure that stuff like that doesn't peep out like that. So yeah, yeah, I'm gonna end soon maybe. Yeah, I'm just trying to talk for you now while we still have this little bit of audience, and now we're all saying where we are. Okay. Cool. Well, I'm in, should I say? I'll just say Seattle. That's close. Seattle, Washington. So come find me. That's why I usually go to Everfree Northwest. The Everfree Northwest, the what do you call it? Convention. So I've been going to that for a couple years. 3 or 4 or 5 years, whatever. 7? Who knows? But too many times. I skipped one year, and I went back last year. US is 4 time zones. That's interesting. Oh, really? What's... Well, I guess middle? And then central? Or is it like western, central, and then eastern, and then... Where's the other one? Oh, mountain. That's it. Okay, thank you. Central and then mountain. Okay. Because I'm all the way on the west. Like, who cares about the difference between central and mountain for me?
Not my problem! If you continue, then I won't organize your birthday party this weekend, or any other parties for you! What?
Trying to sync. Like, your eyes are a bit big here, and then they're small. So she does say something. So I could, I don't know. We live in Detroit, Star City? Okay. Well, it's gonna be a bit of a long walk, as I don't really have my own car, and I don't think my parents will like me to drive their car there if I want to meet up. What? Want her eye. Want her eye. Let me poke her eye. Yeah. I guess talk about the animation here is that having the eye and the shots being the same symbol makes it easy to see the whole thing in context. So I wanted to see, like, in this next shot, like how far and small it gets, and I'm able to see it really quickly like that. So I just wanted to add a little bit there. Then I can kind of almost sync it up with this. I think that might be too much. Hey, Farrell. Know it's come in pretty late, but still like you. Because I was almost going to end this like 15 minutes ago.
What?
How did I know about A Little Pony? Oh, you want to know about that? Okay. That's sort of a journey. So what happened was that my dad had like a... I forget if it's like a... It doesn't matter. He went to like Florida, so he had to go all the way across, and he met up with my cousins. Is that right? Sure. And they were watching My Little Pony. This was like 2011. It's like 1 year. Like in the spring of 2011, and they showed my dad the show. Like they showed him the Cutie Mark Crusaders like Chronicles, where I could show them all as kids. I guess that was like a more better starting point. The show, what's the show about? So,
What?
and then, you had to do this. Okay. And then my dad came back, and then he started like tape recording on our TV the show, and he was able to find the first 2 episodes of the series in season 1. So I guess I was alone, and I wanted to see what was on TV, and I saw My Little Pony. I was like, "What's this?" And I clicked on episode 2, I guess by accident, or I didn't notice. So I just watched the second episode all the way through. I was like, what is this show? I don't know what's going on. What's the plot? And then I watched the first episode and I was like, oh, okay. So I was actually more hooked by watching the second episode, I feel, than if I just watched it in order. So that was weird. And of course I do like these kind of... I have a very broad kind of sense of, you know, my entertainment, that I'm able to watch preschool stuff and just watch it and have fun, to like, you know, super adult swim kind of stuff, and still enjoy that too. So I don't know what kind of mindset that is. We're just like, yeah, this is fun, you know. I could watch Barney and Rick and Morty and have fun with both. So it's kind of felt like, you know, kind of this in between kind of state where it's like it still had like very soft adult humor in it while still being really cute and fun. So I just had really fun with that. And then, you know, learning that it's made in Flash, and then I knew my dad, like one of his jobs was working with Flash, this animation program. He just did some simple stuff like coding it instead of doing animations with it. Like, he did nothing too complex. He was just making video game sprite art, or just art. Like, he would just make some motion tweens for some enemies, you know, just little, you know, just kind of breathing animation stuff. So I was like, hey Dad, this show that I like, it's made with Flash. Hey, can I use that to make more animations with ponies? And he's like, sure. And then we set it up, and yeah, I started learning animation and ponies at the same time, and that's I got my start on this, and I started posting stuff on YouTube, and then I kind of got a little bit of following, like not much, and then kept going, and then made more and more cartoons, and eventually made, you know, stuff people wanted to watch or were interesting. So now we're here. Yeah. Oh yeah, which wrap-ups? That's good. Oh, you like the bright colors? Interesting. Yeah, it's very, like, every color is like pastel. It's that very unsaturated colors that kind of have its own kind of look. Like, I think that's what the Simpsons creator was thinking. Like, if you started channel flipping and you saw something yellow with the Simpsons, you'd be like, what's that? You know, try to hook you in from there. So having a good aesthetic and color palette is really important to get at least get some channel surfers, or, you know, have a pleasing, and once you get them to watch it, you have to have a pleasing enough color palette to keep them watching. Oh, you watched Art of Dress? Oh, interesting. That's more of a very focused sort of on a rarity kind of episode. Then, you know, Rich Rapper was more, I guess they're all kind of main 6 kind of episodes, yeah. Which I don't really, I don't really like the main 6. It just get very super saturated by the season 3 and 4, and it's like, okay, we're having another Applejack episode. Woo! Can we learn about someone else? Kind of feeling. So that's kind of like, you know, I don't have main 6 in my cartoons practically at all, except for like the storyboard animatics one. Because I'm just getting really bored with them now. Like season 8, like I don't really care because their character development isn't really going anywhere. I'm just really tired of watching them. Like I want to see new characters. Like I want to watch, you know, a whole movie or sequel to like the 100th episode. And just look at, you know, they make a whole cast of like, you know, 200 characters, and it's like, how about these 6 characters for, you know, like a whole 26 season? And it's like, okay. I mean, you have, you know, the secondary cast and stuff, but they don't really do too much. And like, it's still the main 6 that's like, wow, I sure learned a lot from that side character. It's like, I don't know. Yeah. Uh-huh. I'm just reading your chat now. Yeah, totally. Oh, you watch the stuff on YouTube? Okay. Yeah, it wasn't like, you know, but it's not really easy to really find it unless you have like a subscription or something to Hasbro channel, Discovery Channel. What was it? The Hub? Back in the day? I mean, you had to... I think you had to pay for that, right? It was like not really came with any real packages or anything. So I was like, how do you guys... Must be really hard to like get it started that way, if that's true. Ugh. I think I'm trying to do the same thing. I'll just kind of work on this shot and then call it good. Where I want her head to flip. Like that. So she's there. And then we save. And then her head flips. Let me go back to the storyboard to make sure like that's not weird. Yeah, I guess they just kind of look at each other. And then that kind of just keeps going. But for some reason I was like, they should be facing forward, and then their head flips that look at each other. Yeah. Yeah, 2011. Because like it premiered, the first episode was like 10/10/10. So like, yeah, didn't really have a good pilot or start, if that's the case, if everyone started watching in 2011, or, you know, how many people started watching with the Discord episode, the first one. You know, that was probably more popular to get people started watching there. Who my friends on YouTube? They're all on my channel, like my channel page, if I go there. I mean, there's just mostly just my people who want to work with me. Because I'm not really fully confident I'll remember all of them. Let me just kind of poke it in there. There you go. Channels I worked with. This is on my main channel. Channel page on my desktop. So you can see, like, I didn't really have too much communication with Apple Farms. Like, we only talked for maybe like a couple months, but I feel like it was the right to keep him there. Upper and Stairs, that's the project I'm working on now. Lunar Studios, I worked on the first Lunar, the cake one. That's on there. King Sparter, his other name is Delta Brony. I worked on vector animations with him. Vector, just pictures, and then a lot of pictures, and then he makes them into kind of like slideshow videos with its own fanfiction stories. And I love him Cosmo Block. I was a head animator on the Perspective, different Perspective animation. That was like an 8-minute animation. C. Alan Gann, he's the Midnight Mares. That didn't really work too well. Didn't really have a good experience with that. Only worked for him like a week, and he was a bit pushy with like that deadline. He was just more just trying to find more hands to help on him with that, and then never called me after that. Working on Josh Scorcher, you watched a couple of that. That's the Folly of Celestia. And yeah, that's about it that I'm working on with. Most of those are still in active development. The Josh Scorcher and Edwin Stairs, that's what I'm working on right now. And then Delta Brony, working on, you know, it's like in the background. And I worked a bit on it today too for like an hour. So now we got that going. There we go. Let me move this back, scale it back. Okay. I'll work on this now and then we'll call it good. We're at 2.5 hours. That's alright. Boop. Let that all catch up now. Yeah. That new season, if you've watched any of the leaks of that, it's pretty interesting. Oh yeah, I worked on a leak on that. I have a video on that. On the season 8. It's like actually the episode that I worked on was actually not to premiere, which is what they usually do. So I was kind of expecting it to be, but I guess it's more of a different kind of story if you don't want to get spoiled there. It's like more in the middle if the leak of the episode list is right. Like it's episode 13 or something strange. You're just looking up a little high. Yeah. RGO Demon. I think that's the ones that I showed you were probably the only main ones that I worked on with. So anyone else is, I don't think I've only maybe like talked a little bit with it, like in some Skype interviews or something. Other than that, no. That's about it. Worked on like, I would have worked on like other small commissions, like, you know, small intros, like their YouTube intros, like, hi, I'm YouTuber, and then they needed a little animation for that. So I worked on a couple of people with that. So that's about that. But I feel like, you know, I feel pretty good with the people that I worked with. Save a few people, but yeah, you know who you are. And you're all still cool, but could have turned out a little better. Let's try to move things 1 pixel over. That was loud. I think she is Diamond. Yeah, she blinks, so I could do that for her. Right about here, is where she blinks. Oh, have I watched anything? Oh, you spelled Sean. You said, have I Sean anything? And no, that's also a no. I don't know who he is. Or her, whatever. Boop. Now you're gonna be blinking. Ah ha ha. That's when it starts. Boop, 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 boop. There we go. And that's just about it. As much as I want to show a few there. What do you want me to check out this guy right now, just real quick? I'll have to do it in this tab, and you're saying RG all down on. Ah! Try to use Chrome over here. Oh man, I never connected that word to that person. Yeah, the SFM. Yeah, totally, yeah, totally. Just totally blanked on that name. Wow. I was gonna start the video. Okay. Yeah. I'm sure I've seen a couple of them just by watching around. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not too super fan. Not because it's, I mean, partially because it's like 3D animation. So, yes, I did do Silver Scrolls. That was one of the, that was actually a request, so I didn't get any money. So, now I'm trying to make sure that doesn't happen anymore. So, I'm gonna try to keep my fares kind of cheap. I'm sure, like, I had a teacher, like a business teacher, and I would say like how much I'm getting for like how much I'm charging for commissions for work, and she's like, that's not enough. So you should be making 100 times more of that. And it's like, I don't think I'm worth that. But yeah. So, and she said like never take any more free work. Now to become trying to feel like more professional, because this is my time spent working on this kind of stuff. So, want to make sure that I get my end of the bargain out of it, that I get something out of it. Yeah, and I did a couple other intros like that too. I'm sure if you, you probably could just get like Yoshi Greenwater intro and you might queue up a couple of them. Yeah, I will quit that. Maybe PG, but it looks good. Yeah, totally. Yeah, it's not like I hate 3D, it's just I'm not very good at doing it myself, is kind of the thing.
Come on, Derpy.
Oh, you love it, thanks. Which one was that, the Silver Scroll? Let me make sure. Yep, thank you. I did a couple other ones and they're a bit less cool, I guess. I'm sorry. I did like a Pokemon one recently. I'm sure I have the files for it somewhere. I don't want to dig around for that. It was for some guy and he gave me time to work on did your friends, do you make your friends pay for a intro? Not for my intros. I was doing like a bunch of intros, like, yeah, like 2 years ago, yeah. How much would fixing my Kingdom Hearts more show like cost? That'd be more like a vector thing, is what you're talking. And that's just like, I'll have to, fully know the details of that, but I want to be, fair to that, and try to charge per hour. It's more what I do. And I believe that should take like 5-10 minutes, so I don't think I have to figure out like kind of charges for that. Yeah. If what, give me like a comment after the stream somewhere. Yeah, we can discuss that if you want. I've been trying to do that myself. Someone I've been artist, but hey, I'm trying. Yeah, alright. Yeah, no one's a true artist. Just your own interpretation. If you think things, if you try to draw things that make it look like it's real, I mean, that's alright. I mean, is this real art that I'm drawing here? Who knows? Did I do ice glades? That sounds familiar. Yeah. For some reason, the Yoshi from Mario series is here too when I queued it. Yeah, if you just YouTube search Yoshi Greenwater intro, I can show that probably. Yeah, so I worked on this one. Yep, obviously. And this one, if you can kind of see it, I can zoom in a little. Not that one. That's me. I made that. Yep. Oh, that's my live stream. Another live stream. Oh yeah, I made this like 4 years ago. Now I'm confused with what you're saying in the shadow. Did you do Vice Gate? Yes, I did. Oh, you didn't. Did you make anyone pay for an intro? No. I should have. At least, for how long it took. If it took like an hour, then that'll be $10. I try to do $10 an hour because that's minimum wage. So, but that's for like true animation. Yeah. All ours aren't true. Worked on that. New Dark Knight Princess. Yep, I worked on that. Yep, obviously. The description, and I think that's, and then it gets weird. Oh, I worked on this a little bit. Yep, animator Yoshi Greenwater. I worked on for maybe like half the production time for this Kim Possible intro. We had like a couple, like 4 or 5 newbies to animation working on it too. So I was trying to be the head animator and try to coordinate everyone else, and it kind of fell apart by the end, and I kind of gave up and kind of left Kim Possible. So I worked on this too for like an hour or so. I'll give you like $3, but how much it totally. Yeah. Yeah, text me afterward. We can discuss that. I don't think Dream. Well, I go by time, but yeah, based on your budget, that'll be fine too. I worked on Pound and Pumpin'. I mean, that's just 10 seconds. If I could show that, I mean, this is nothing. I worked no time on this. Yeah, woo, fantastic. That's not it. Had an interview kind of thing. That was interesting. I think we're kind of near the end. But we're getting silver swirls because she uses my intro. Yeah, that's about it. Then it gets off the rails a little bit. Yeah. Ah. Zoom out. You can do it. It's not zooming out. Okay, we're fine. It's beautiful. All your children make people. Thank you. Yeah, that was when I had more time. Although I also didn't, because I had school at that time too. So, how do I pay? Yeah, contact me afterward and we can discuss that. It's just easier to, like, do you want a vector? Do you want an animation? Do you need like 10 seconds of animation? Do you need 10 minutes of animation? Do you need just one vector? Do you need 10 vectors? Do you need the height scale vector? It's like all that kind of stuff is way too hard to do live here. So yeah. How do I contact you? It's probably another question. Isn't there like a way on YouTube, like on my channel? Let me go to my channel, and then there's like a thing. I'm really still zoomed in. Nope. Nope. There you go. Mouse is a bit rusty. Yeah, if you go to my channel, well, that's really sad. I don't know why I chucked that. Jasmine's 11, so that's probably not gonna work because you don't really have a credit card. Yeah. So that's also why it didn't work, because like some other people who wanted intros were not adults. Is that it? No, community? Yeah, I posted this like New Year's. So I think if you have a credit card and you have access to PayPal, then yeah, I think that you can contact me here, I guess. It's probably the simplest. Instead of, you know, trying to get my email or my whatever else. I'm sure my Twitter could probably also work. I'm totally getting out of Rails here, but yeah. If you want to do that too. That'll also work. My Twitter is, of course, you know, all the same username and stuff on the right over there, which is Yoshi Greenwater, to make it simple. They're still staring. Let's have them look over there. Like, what's over there? Alright. Yeah. Jasmine's too young. Was someone else who wanted stuff though? Or started studying 1 and 3. But you're also college? I mean, do college kids not have jobs? I thought high school people had jobs and stuff. I don't know. I'm sorry.
Come on, Derpy.
I never had a real job either. If you didn't. Maybe you did. But then how do you only have $3 to spare? I'm just trying to figure this out. Okay. And then Cloud Kicker over here, she's so scared that there's ponies in front of her. Yeah.
You don't need this kind of treatment.
Yeah. Okay, Pharaoh. Okay, good night. I should probably end this too. But if there's any more discussion, we can contact me that you saw by on my channel and then community. I would add in a text there. And yeah, I'm pretty much, I've worked on like 2 shots practically on this in 2 hours. So yeah. Yeah.
Y'all better.
I think we'll end it here. And of course, as I said, what to do if you're up for that. And anyone else watching this later, that's should be still available if you know you're legal or adult, have access to PayPal. I usually think I can only accept PayPal. I think that's the only thing I've actually set up. I guess Streamlabs is also a thing. Well, Streamlabs with the donate button, just like straight donation, I guess also works in the description. I don't know. Yeah, I think that's in there. Yeah, donations please send to Streamlabs / that it said Super Chat was okay? I guess. Yeah, okay. I think we're good. Okay, yeah. And then I guess we'll keep going with this kind of schedule of having Tuesdays and Thursdays, or at least around my evening. So whatever time 2 hours and 44 minutes was before, I'll be back here again for you guys. Yeah. So I think I'll end it here. So thanks for watching, and see you soon on Tuesdays and Thursdays unless I change it. And if you're watching this in the future and you know that the schedule changes, then you'll know that it's probably wrong now. Whoa. I'll stop. Okay, bye-bye.